How's it going, guys? My name is Zach with the Movie Castle, and today we're going to be doing another one of my monthly movie hauls where I show you guys everything I bought during a month. And yeah, July of 2023 is wrapping up, and I can't believe we've gone through a whole nother month already. But I got some good stuff. Again, like the past 2 months, I've bought way too much. I was literally trying to, to be a little more careful. After last month, I got like 32 things, I think. Now I'm down, I got 27 things this month, so that's still too many. I exercised a modicum of self-control. Next month, I'll try to be even more better. But anyway, part of the reason why this month got so big is Movie Trading Company did have a sale. It was for the 4th. I think it was something like buy 2, get 1 free. And I also have been on a bit of a found footage kick lately, and I made this whole big list of found footage movies that I wanted, and I bought a bunch of them, so they will be padding out this haul too. Either way though, I got some DVDs, I got some Blu-rays, I got some multi-packs. There's some interesting things in there. So without further ado, let's take a look at the items. I'm gonna try to go a little quicker because this is kind of big, but without further ado, let's switch over to the close-up camera. Alright, here we are inside the castle, taking a closer look at all the Blu-rays and DVDs that I got this time around, and let's start off with a few Blu-rays. First, I want to show you guys this month Studio Ghibli. I've been picking up 1 or 2 Studio Ghiblis every month. It's just something I've been kind of into lately, and I've been trying to collect nice Blu-rays with their slipcovers intact. And this one, Kikis Delivery Service, is about a witch that has to do a sabbatical in the human world and finds that her powers can, are amazing to humans, and she can use that to sort of become a business where she goes and delivers stuff on her magic broom. Open it up, and I really do like with these Ghibli releases, we get the book, that's the ad for all of them, then we get one specific for the movie, we get background art, and the Blu-ray and DVD are different artwork, and they're really easy to tell which is which with that little Totoro there. And these ones are actually pretty similar artwork, but we see her in 2 different places at different times in the film. Really have liked the Studio Ghibli stuff I've seen so far. Hope to get to more reviews of those soon, but that's the first movie that we've seen is Kiki's Delivery Service, and now we're going to move on to the next one. And this one I was really excited to find. Maybe not everyone will get it, but Triple Feature Horror Volume 1 from Phase 4 Films here. This is a Blu-ray with Forget Me Not, House of Fallen, and Red Hook on it. Flip it to the back and you can see some basic information about the movie, and kinda sadly, this is a 1 Blu-ray pack, so all 3 movies are crammed onto 1 Blu-ray. That being said, Blu-rays hold a lot, so they're probably not super compressed or anything, but still, I know that will bug some people. But the question is, why was I so excited to find Triple Feature Horror Volume 1? That's because about a year ago, I found Triple Feature Horror Volume 2, and it was really bugging me that I had Volume 2 on the shelf and never had Volume 1. But now, I have both of them, and I believe there are only 2 of these. I would buy more if they had them. I think there is a Triple Feature Family, I saw that one, but I think they only made 2 horror ones, so you can see the titles are up there in the top, and then Triple Feature Horror 1 and 2, and from Phase 4 Films there. Anyway, this one's old. This is the new one in the haul. So that is triple feature. After that, I have something for my Nicolas Cage collection, and that is Nicolas Cage in The Sorcerer's Apprentice. I never saw this one, and actually it took me a while to get that it was even a remake of that Fantasia segment, because he's obviously not Mickey Mouse there. But yeah, a wizard learning from an older master and getting into trouble. I think my dad saw this and said it wasn't the best, but it was okay, you know, so I'll have to watch this sometime. But I am working on collecting all the Nicolas Cage movies, which that is quite the task, which is part of the reason why I'm trying to do it. You know, why does someone climb Everest? Because it's there, right? But this one does have Blu-ray and DVD. I love having both formats right there in the same container, saves some space, and I have them both. So, Sorcerer's Apprentice. Anyway, after that, I found this movie at my local used movie shop, A Woman Kills. And if we flip it to the back, it's got a bit of an interesting story. It talks about how this was a movie from 1968, but it got lost because it couldn't find a distributor, and it wasn't until like 40 or so years later that it was finally picked up, and it did film festival circuits, and now it's finally, because of Radiance Films, on Blu-ray, and there's actually, I think this says it was limited to like 2,000 copies or something. Yeah, limited to 2,000 copies. A pretty small run. Now, that being said, sadly, this is a European one, and even though the shop told me it had a sticker, region free, and I thought Blu-rays were supposed to be, I don't know. Sadly, this did not work on my player. I'm gonna hang on to it for a few reasons. One, it looks like an interesting movie. Two, it's limited to 2,000 copies, so if I get rid of it, good luck finding another one. And three, I do hope to get a region-free player someday. Anyway, it's kind of interesting. This part, the red part with the information, will actually come out if you don't want the information, you just want more poster art. And it does have a booklet, a disc, and actually reversible cover art. So I can't watch this one yet, but here's hoping I get my hands on that region-free player sometime soon. Anyway, after that, I want to cover the new Shudder DVDs. Shudder is always really good about putting out new DVDs. You know, they put out a couple every month, and I really do like a streaming service that does release their stuff on DVD for us physical media heads. And first up, we have A Spoonful of Sugar. Flip this to the back, and it talks about how there's someone studying medicine, and there's a kid that's allergic to seemingly everything. But of course, this is a horror movie, so there's some dark explanation as to why he's allergic to everything. It sounds like an interesting setup, and I am curious which way that's going to go. Artwork is the same as the front, and disc is the same as the front, but with title rearranged and stuff. I noticed Shudder's not putting their booklets in there anymore. They used to have a little, not a booklet, a little flyer advertising Shudder that was in all their Shudder releases, but it seems like they stopped doing that. Anyway, that is A Spoonful of Sugar, but the next one I'm more excited about, but I held it off because it's a transition piece. Anyway, this next one, I'm super excited to finally watch. Deadstream. He's dying for followers, and it's got the little GoPro in the zombie hand with the big sharp nails, and certified fresh. But yeah, like I said, I've been into found footage lately, and this is one of the bigger found footage movies of the last couple years. You know, it's becoming more of a niche thing, obviously, since it was, you know, super big in the early 2010s, and now it's, you know, they still make them. But this one, it's a guy on the internet, and, you know, his fans are mad at him for some reason, so he's trying to win followers back by doing a stream from the haunted house, and supposedly in this one, he actually gets to interact with the chat and talk to people on the internet as he's alone in the haunted house, so it is kind of an interesting there, because usually you're isolated, And from what I gather, it's scary and has a bit of humor behind it. And it's one that I've wanted to check out, and it came out right when I was on a found footage kick. Shudder also did the new VHS movie, so maybe Shudder is on a found footage kick as well. Anyway, there's the disc, same as the front. Anyway, after that, we're going to move along to more found footage. So yeah, like I said, transition piece. Talking about Shudder, not talking about found footage. And I do have one Blu-ray here, and that is the Europa Report. And the idea with this one is on the moon Europa, there is studies that show there might be water and there might be like small single-celled organisms, and life and water is pretty amazing. So they send astronauts in to discover it. And this is like all the cameras and footage from that mission. So found footage doesn't usually go to space, but I think Apollo 18 also went to space, so maybe it happens more often than you think. But anyway, this is one that I found on Blu-ray, and the rest of the found footage I think are all on DVD here. But let's go into one that I actually recently reviewed on the channel. And that is The Hunted, from the producers of The Collector, which, by the way, yeah, Collector 3, coming out pretty soon, can't wait for that. But flip it to the back, and it talks about how there's this guy, he's filming a hunting TV show, when he gets the notion that something is in the woods and messing with him. It's pretty cool. The hunters are taking everything seriously, and then to not really know what's messing with you. Other humans? A monster? A ghost? You really don't know what it's going to be. And I really did like that element. And also there's some cool meta stuff, you know, about like setting up the camera and getting good shots because they're filming a TV show, you know? And also on the inside of this is pretty fun. There's an ad where you can actually go on a hunt with the people from The Hunted. So that is pretty interesting as well. There's nothing on the back of that, it's just blank. So that one was pretty fun. Very Blair Witch if you like that. Up next, this is one from Adam Green. Adam Green did Hatchet and Frozen. He's pretty good with a little bit of humor in his work usually. And you get this cover with the monster and the guy in the eyeball looking out. And this is Digging Up the Marrow. Flip it to the back and it talks about how there's this guy. It's actually the dad on Twin Peaks, Ray Wise. Go check out Twin Peaks if you haven't. It's a really good show. But it's the dad from Twin Peaks, and he thinks that the monsters of the collective unconscious are real, and he's going on a quest to prove it. So that will be interesting. There's actually a really fun air on the back. It tells you Adam Green is the director, and then it tells you Ray Wise and his character is William Decker, but then it says, determined to expose the truth, Green embarks on a bone-chilling odyssey. Green? No, Green's the director. You mean Decker. Oh well. Anyway, there's the disc, and behind the disc is an ad for a bunch of other stuff this company was making. I have Wolf Creek 2, Houses October built. I have Wolf Cop. I'm not sure if I have Patient Zero, and yeah, I have some of these. But these are always pretty fun movies. This RLJE, a mad image line. Anyway, after that, one that I haven't seen yet, but a lot of people said it was good, and that's Afflicted. This is one that I had seen on the shelves for forever and didn't even know it was a found footage film, and much less that it was a good horror movie. It's just one that I constantly passed up. Yeah, I just remembered the one with the guy with the stuff on the back of his head. But I found out it was found footage, and also that people said it was one of the better ones. So that's cool. And it talks about how there's this guy and his friend has some sort of strange disease, but the disease starts to change him into something else, and they sort of document this. So that is an interesting idea. He is, as the title suggests, afflicted with something. Regular shiny disc there. And then after that, we get one from the producers of Paranormal Activity and Insidious. So Jason Blum. I look in on the back and I don't see the Blumhouse logo, so this might be one of the Jason Blum movies before Jason Blum made Blumhouse. But anyway, this movie, again, one that I saw and didn't know it was found footage, or apparently one of the better ones, but it's like a seaside town that monsters come up, and it's kind of a mockumentary, you know, so that sounds cool, a found footage creature feature. They can't be all about ghost, right? But yeah, and so people keep saying mockumentary angle here too, so probably several cameras, I don't know. Let's straighten you out a little bit. And moving on, we have one from this Bloody Disgusting Selects line, which I actually do have a few Bloody Disgusting Selects. So I get one from that line and a found footage film. And this one actually also talks about people on vacation, but they start to investigate a local urban legend, and as they do, that sort of invites the thing into their house, and it gets more and more uncontrollable. So this one is another one that sounds pretty cool right now. And after that, one that I bought, I actually didn't know this was found footage when I picked it up. I just saw, okay, this is the macabre line, and it's got this really cool, like, anatomy cover with his brain out there. But this one's called Banshee Chapter, and flip it to the back, and it talks about how this one is based on a bunch of real-life creepy government experiments. And yeah, as crazy as some theories can get, there is quite a bit of crazy truth out there. And yeah, government experiment, found footage horror movie, this girl and a reporter looking for her missing friend. It could be pretty good there, I don't know, but that is Banshee Chapter. Looking forward to that one. And then after that, we have The Devil Inside. This is one that I definitely heard about. It was one of the bigger ones, and you'd hear this one referenced from time to time. I think this is like 2010s or something. It is one that people passed around. Yeah, never actually got to watch this one. I don't think it was particularly great, but I'll have to check it out myself. And it's, there's this girl, and she runs into like two rogue exorcists, and she finds out that her mother, who was arrested a long time ago, might have been possessed or something. Open it up, and I think this is, yeah, one of those gray discs with the shiny lettering. And then more terror from Paramount. We get the first 3 Paranormal Activities, a 4-pack of Friday, and the first 2 Ring movies. Yeah, cool to see Paramount putting out so much stuff. After that, the last found footage one that I have for this haul, it's one that I was super excited to get, and that is VHS Viral, because I had all the other VHS movies, and this was a big hole that kind of, you know, took my momentum out, because I watched the first 2 really quick, and then I couldn't find Viral anywhere. It was a little frustrating, but I finally found it. This is the 3rd one in the series, and from what I gather, not the best one. I think a lot of people did complain about it, and the title doesn't even really make much sense. I mean, a VHS doesn't really go viral. Those are very different forms of media. And also, man, the first 2 movies had such great covers with the tape, and then here, this one's just kind of a mask with a skull on it. I mean, it keeps the skull motif, but the first 2 covers were amazing. Flip it to the back, and it talks something about, like, an ice cream truck driver and people trying to get famous on the internet. Yeah, I don't know. It's anthology horror, so different stuff is gonna happen. Crack it open. There's the disc. Now, I do have one more film from the VHS series. It's not found footage, so like I said, this was our last found footage, but I did manage to grab Siren. Do you guys remember Amateur Night from VHS 1? Yeah, the character there, Hannah Fearman's character, actually got her own spin-off, and for whatever reason, it wasn't until I did a bunch of research on the series that I found out that the spin-offs exist. There's this one, Siren, and actually just recently, Kids vs. Aliens, which was a remake of the the Alien segment from Part 2 came out. So yeah, VHS has, I think, 5 mainline entries and 2 spin-offs, but for whatever reason, people don't talk about the spin-offs. You know, it even only just briefly mentions VHS up at the top here, from the minds that brought you VHS. You think you would go, spin-off, you know, and advertise that really big. But there's Hannah Fierman's character on the back there, and I'm hoping this one's good, but, you know, like I said, it's a movie I hadn't heard of before, so, I mean, I probably saw this one around, but I didn't give it much attention until I knew what it was, but hopefully it's good. I do, now that I have them all, want to binge the rest of the VHS series, so fingers crossed for that. Anyway, so, a ton of found footage stuff here. Up next is something that's a little bit of a dupe for me, but not really, and that is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Now, of course, I already had this movie on Blu-ray. I'm a big fan of Tobe Hooper, a big fan of the Chainsaw series. I have all of them that are on physical media, but why I got this is it's a steelbook and the 2-disc Ultimate Edition with special features. So yeah, I did need the DVD format of this film, but also I wanted more special features that I think are unique to this copy. My Blu-ray has some commentaries that I think are unique from these one's commentaries, or at least one of them I think is, but this one has a whole disc of special features. The Shocking Truth documentary, Flesh Wounds documentary, tour with Gunnar Hansen of the original House, deleted scenes, outtakes, bloopers, outtakes from one of the documentaries, and a still gallery. So yeah, a steelbook, a second disc of bonus features with 2 full documentaries there. Yeah, this is a film I love, so I really needed essentially the bonus features version just to have more experience with it. But if you guys haven't seen Chainsaw by some remote chance, go watch it. Anyway, moving along from one of the best to one that I've heard was pretty bad. S. Darko. I've of course seen the first Donnie Darko, it's pretty good. This is the sequel about Donnie Darko's little sister, and she runs away from home only to discover another tear in time that she and her friend has to fix. I've heard this really wasn't good, but then again, it might be an okay movie, and it may just be that all the Donnie Darko fans are like super hardcore about it. I don't know. I'll check it out. I got it on clearance. It was just a couple bucks. So, yeah, I think it was $2 on clearance, and there's the disc there with the close-up of the iconic bunny face. Anyway, moving along, I actually have an Eli Roth film next. This is Aftershock. Now, it's not directed by Eli Roth, but it's produced and written by Eli Roth, and he actually stars in the film. So this is an Eli Roth, the actor movie, and it talks about how he's going down to Chile, and he's not having any luck with women until him and some friends meet some girls. It seems to be going good until there's a big earthquake and criminals get out, people are rioting, and they have to survive the aftershocks. Fun little thing here, there is a rental sticker from Family Video. Anyway, crack it open, another shiny silver disc, and moving along. After that, we have The Damned. This is one of those IFC Midnight releases, which I think are, in general, pretty good. Flip it to the back, and it talks about how there's this family, and they're on vacation when they get into a car wreck and stop at a hotel. But of course, inside the hotel, there's someone locked in the basement, and they let this girl free thinking it's the right thing to do. A little bit like that one Twilight Zone episode, right? But of course, she was locked up there for a reason, and mayhem ensues. There's the disc, and that one sounds fun as well. Moving along to a few things that are pretty different. One, Jess Franco's She Killed an Ecstasy, and I actually found this for only $5. Yeah, obscure European films, sometimes you can pay a little bit too much for them, but yeah, it's about this lady whose husband lost his job and committed suicide, so now she's going on a revenge spree against the people that she thinks are at fault for his death. Overall, a really cool idea, and Jess Franco tends to get a little bit insane, so that's really cool. I don't think I can open the inside of that one. It is, obscure European horror. It gets a little crazy. Anyway, after that, The Hillside Strangler, based on a true story, and this is actually from Tartan Video. Now, Tartan Video, I know them primarily for their Tartan Asia Extreme line, where they put out a bunch of really cool Asian horror movies, but I do have some from just regular Tartan Video, and when I found out this seems like something of a true crime slasher movie, I figured why not check it out and give it a chance. This apparently had some sticker over the DVD latch, and there's a bunch of residue there, but anyway, crack it open. The Hillside Strangler. Anyway, after that, I have one from Tokyo Shock. There's the Tokyo Shock logo on the spine, and this one's called Terror Taxi, and it talks about how this guy dies in a mysterious taxi accident, but the ghost of taxi drivers have to pick up unsuspecting people and harvest their blood. So he doesn't want to be doing this, but can he fight his ghostly nature and solve his own murder mystery? And apparently the taxis actually fly through the air, and we get this weird little cartoon on the bottom there. So yeah, looks like kind of a silly movie, but I will add this to the Tokyo Shock shelf. Crack it open. There's the disc with the logo really big there. Anyway, after that is another one that goes with one of my collections. This is a bit outside what I normally watch, but this one's called Treeless Mountain, and it talks about how there are these two kids, and the mother leaves them and says, "I'll be back when you can fill up this piggy bank," as sort of a thing to keep them waiting, but of course she doesn't come back and they get pawned off on other family members. So it sounds like a drama there, but why I have it is its oscilloscope. I think Oscilloscope was a few people that would go on to make A24, and they were distributing kind of art house movies. Oscilloscope did Rare Exports, the Santa Claus horror movie, but what I like is I'm not exactly sure how they all go together. There's numbers, and then sometimes this logo is in blue and sometimes green, but you see this S from Oscilloscope. If you can collect all the Oscilloscope movies, it forms a big picture of their logo. I'm not spending a ton of money on it, but whenever I see an Oscilloscope movie for relatively cheap, I can probably add it into the cart. I want to expand my horizons, but I also want that cool display piece. But anyway, this is one of those big fold-out books where you get the kids, the disc, and the wide picture. Anyway, after that, we move on to, I guess this is the section of movies from companies that I know. This is Foreplay, and I'm not usually a romantic comedy guy, but this was actually made by The Asylum, which is super weird because they usually do mockbusters and horror movies, and it's really weird to see The Asylum making a romantic comedy. But this one's about two couples that realize they're not in love anymore, and apparently they start to fall for the other people in the opposite couple or something. Yeah, I'm not a huge romantic comedy guy. Really got this more as an Asylum curiosity for the collection. And there's the disc. Anyway, boy, I'm going through a whole bunch that I don't really, I'm not super big into drama or romantic comedies, and we're moving on to the multi-pack section, and I have this 20 movie family pack. Now, again, not something I care super much for. It's got a few things in it, like I think there's a Christmas movie in here. But why did I buy a 20 movie pack of fun family movies? To rip out and harvest its case, to be honest. As I said, Movie Trading Company had that big sale. I was able to get this for free, and I needed a new 1.5 thick case for my Tomie collection, because the case for this one arrived in the mail damaged. So I got this, I swapped them out, so now I got a new case for Tomie for free. I did have to ask, and Movie Trading Company was really nice and gave me a new flipper insert, but basically I grabbed that to rip its case out and put my Tomie movies in, and now they're all in there in this much better, thicker case. It's not cracked anymore. That's cool. You guys may have saw this in the last haul. I just wanted to update you guys and say that yes, I fixed Tomie's case. That's cool. Another multi-pack I have, the Leica Animation Collection. I don't know too much about family and kids movies. I had heard a lot about Coraline, and I really do like Neil Gaiman, so I did want to see this adaptation, but apparently these other ones are really good as well. Paranorman, Box Trolls, Kubo. Now this one, I saw it for 20 bucks at Walmart, which I thought was a little high, but after they phased it out, I found one random copy in the back that I think was a return. It wasn't in their system anymore, and Walmart gave it to me for only 5 bucks, which is great. It was, unfortunately, broken, so I got a string of tape and wrapped it through to the back there. But Kubo, Coraline, Box Trolls, and Paranorman. Anyway, after that, we have the big box of horror, and this is 10 movies, 14 hours, and flip it to the back, and we get to see all these Daughters of Darkness, Last Man on Earth, I Eat Your Skin. Those two are in a lot of ones, but 10 movies on these 2 discs. And the things with big boxes of horror is they've actually made quite a few of them. These 9 movies on these 2 loose ones. These 15 movies have their own box. Yeah, there's so many of this big box of horror line that when I saw a new one, I'm like, okay, gotta get it. And I need to do a big box of horror binge one of these days. Last thing, very last thing here, I have The Crescent. And that is this Ico Bridge includes 2 bonus movies thing. And flip it to the back, and we can talk about, and we can see the Crescent up here. A painter and her toddler son retreat to solitude at a cottage after the death in a family, and the 2 attempt to rebuild their lives, but of course it's going to get all creepy. This is actually from Raven Banner as well, and we get Hindsight and Memory, and Memory actually has Dennis Hopper in it. So slide the case off, same as the front, and crack it open. We get see Crescent gets its own disc, and Hindsight and Memory are on a double. And that's the last one. Castle's not quite as full as last time, but still fuller than it should be. I bought way too many once again, but overall, lots of fun stuff. Most of this haul is this huge found footage section, but upgrading my Texas Chainsaw to get the bonus features, and, you know, another Ghibli, some multi-packs. There's some cool stuff in here. Anyway, to everyone who's watched so far, thank you for watching. To everyone who's liked and subscribed, thank you. You really are helping the channel out. I'll leave a relevant playlist on the bottom. This should be my monthly movie hauls playlist. I've been doing this since last October, so it is pretty long if you want to see more of those. Anyway, have a good day. I'll see you guys again very, very soon. Relevant playlist on the bottom. Have a good day now.